Okay, so in today's video, I just want to basically talk about why I've never done drugs. I've never drank. I've never done the hard drugs, obviously, and I've never smoked, vaped, etc. Never, none of that. The only thing I ever tried was what do you call it? Like non-alcoholic beer. I tried that. I was curious and it tasted like ass. So that's probably the closest I got to alcohol, but it is non-alcoholic. So I hope that there was no alcohol in it. But now, joke aside, this is kind of just off the top of my head. I'm just gonna talk about a few reasons why I have done this for the past 19 years. If you think I'm boring, lame, whatever it may be, just click off the video or just stop watching. I don't know what to tell you. Everyone has their own right to their own decisions and how they live their life, and I so far have lived my life this way, and I think it's good for me. So if you don't feel the same way, then good for you, I guess. I'm not gonna judge you if you do it, but it's really up to you. But I feel like the number one reason I don't do this stuff is, quite honestly, I view it quite badly. And obviously it talks about this in religious texts, whatever, how, regardless of your religion. You might be Christian, you might be Muslim. um, I'm pretty sure like in the Quran it says like it's like a sin, it's like a major sin. So they don't really do it. I'm a Christian. For us, like I'm not entirely sure what it says on like hard drugs. I'm pretty sure it just says don't do it. I know that drinking is allowed to do if you don't get drunk though. Like you're allowed to drink wine or something as long as you don't get drunk, which makes sense to me. But I never really knew that growing up, so I just thought it was a sin completely. So that's really the main reason. I just view it in a negative way, and it's just something to stay away from. And this could be a completely different story, but I remember once I went to this party. It was a after school prom party, and I thought it was gonna be fun. Like I thought we were gonna do stuff, but literally, I was looking around, and all people were doing was drinking and smoking, and to me, it just looked miserable and kind of demonic. Like I'm not trying to be that type of person that says like everything is demonic or like yada yada, but to me it just seemed really pathetic. No offense. Like I know I said I don't judge you guys, but I just think if that's what you do in your fun time, like I'd rather do something else. Like literally anything else than that. Like I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather be on my phone for an hour just scrolling than drinking for an hour. That's just me. Both are bad, but you get the point. So I've just had a really negative like feeling, or like I just feel very negatively about drinking and drugs in general. So that's probably the main reason. Aside from that, like I think just wherever I was walking or whatnot, whenever you like smell cigarettes and stuff, they just they just smell horrible. So I don't know why I'd ever try that. I think that's just disgusting. I don't think there's much of a difference if you're actually inhaling it. It's probably the same. I can understand vapes because vapes are like just artificial flavors, and they're gonna obviously taste nice or whatever. But like smoking in general just tastes horrible. Whenever I'm like walking past someone that's smoking, this happened especially in Germany. I used to live there for a year, and like people were just smoking constantly. And it was just horrible. It was a horrible experience. The country was amazing, very lovely, but the smoking was just nonstop. It just smelled always horrible, and I just couldn't handle it. Like I was always just coughing and stuff. And I don't think back then they were doing weed and stuff, but weed is like much stronger too. Like I think I've gotten high from like weed, like secondhand high or something. I'm not gonna lie, but man, that weed be like strong. Like that smell be like crazy. But that's like the main reason I don't do this stuff. I just always viewed it really negatively. And yeah, apart from that, I did talk about a little bit about like religion kind of playing a factor into it. Uh, it's a sin. I guess, I could obviously try drinking wine. I could try drinking tequila, but I just don't really see much point in it. I think it's quite stupid. And I mean, you guys have seen like countless of videos of people or like not victims. What do you call it? Ex addiction. Like they had an addiction, but they're not on the addiction anymore. Just talking about their experiences and how like they felt that when you drink, it just brings a different it just brings a different version of you into the world, and you're not really aware of what happens and stuff. And personally, like a lot of people also just told me like their experiences drinking and stuff, and they view this as like really fun. But like, bro, like most of the time, you don't remember anything that happened, or you don't really remember much. Like, yeah, maybe you're having fun at the moment, but afterwards, you're probably miserable. You feel lightheaded. You might throw up depending on how much you drink. Like, I just don't get the point of it. Like, I can see why some people would like drink like, wine once in a while. Like, sure, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that eventually, but I just don't see the point of it. I don't care. Like, if I'm gonna drink something nice, I'm gonna drink a Fanta or something. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Fanta's good enough for me. I don't have to go out and buy like a $200 wine just to try it like once every like 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see much point in it. But apart from that, I feel like the main reason I never really did it growing up though, because I feel like now it's really like I'm 19, so I really can decide what I want to do or don't want to do. But growing up, I just lived in a really strict household. Obviously, it was something that my parents told me not to do, so I listened to them. I think most kids should listen to their parents. And obviously, I was a rebellious kid at times, but I always thought that this was one thing that I just didn't want to be rebellious at. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely been situations where people try to peer pressure me into it, but if there's one thing that people never were able to peer pressure me into, it's drugs. I think I've definitely been peer pressured into stupid things, but this was one of those things I never got peer pressured into. But as I was saying, the strict household, I think I talked about this in like a few videos of mine. My father was very abusive. I'm pretty sure he drank occasionally. I think he smoked too because he smelled horrible sometimes. But like my family just has a really bad like genetically wise, they're not doing the best. Like on my father's side, a lot of the family died through like just constant smoking and like um heart strokes or whatnot, like that type of stuff. And then my mother's side has like diabetes, stuff like that. My grandfather unfortunately passed away a few years ago through smoking. Just he always smoked. And so for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I want to live a long life, a long, decent life. I would hope, a good life. I already have many health problems. I've talked about this in my other videos as well. So if I actually decided to try and I actually got addicted to it, or not even addicted to it, but I did it occasionally. Like, let's say I just drank alcohol once in a blue moon. I don't want to like increase those chances of like heart failure or like my lungs being terrible, or I think that's more smoking, but you get the point. Like just my kidneys being horrible, and I already have thyroid problems, so I don't want to like increase my chance of becoming obese or something. I was obese, not obese, I was like pretty kind of fat, like in grade 10, and it was not a fun time. I was getting bullied constantly, and it was horrible. It was like I've only been fat like 2 times in my life. The first time was when I was like 7 and I gained thyroids for the first time, and we didn't know about it. I was eating normally, and next thing you know, I'm fat. And then the other time was during COVID. I didn't really work out at home. I was locked out. I couldn't go outside. My mom was very strict because at the time we didn't know how serious it was. So we took it really serious, and we barely went out. And for the first like few months, I was like just locked out home, and yeah, I just gained weight like crazy. I didn't really do much about it. So that's really it. I'm just yapping, honestly. I'm just going from one topic to another. But yeah, I'd say the main reason I don't smoke is, oh yeah, I was talking about the strictness. So I wasn't really allowed to, I guess, have the opportunity to do that stuff because my parents were very strict with who I hanged out. Like what I mean by that is like obviously at school I could do whatever I wanted, and at home I could do whatever I wanted. But like, let's say I wanted to hang out with my friends at like 4 p.m. That's fine. Like I'll just tell them where I'm going and stuff. No one cares, right? But like, let's say I want to go to my friends from like 6 p.m. to like 10 p.m. Like I'd have to tell my friends. My mom would probably want the phone number of one of the parents, the address, stuff like that. Like I think most people can relate to this. I don't think that's something like outrageous. I think it's pretty reasonable, especially since you don't know what can happen. You can get kidnapped, there's a lot of bad things that can happen, or you can get into something with a stranger and then at least they know your whereabouts. So it's a really good thing to do. I don't think I really did it much, but what I'm trying to say is no one really does like drugs like in the morning or the afternoon. It's more like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So usually when, for instance, one time my friend had a birthday party. It was like last year, I think, and he was obviously gonna do like drugs or like just drink alcohol at his home, and he invited me. And I asked my mom, "Can I go?" I was 18 too, to be fair. So technically, I live under my mom's, so I do still follow her rules. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I have a lot of freedom, but if I'm living under someone else's home, like I should be respectful. So yeah, I told her like my friend's having a birthday party. Can I go? And she asked like, is there gonna be drinking? And I was honest and I said, yeah, probably there will be. You know me, I've never drank, never smoked. I won't do it. But if you don't want me to go, I won't go. And she said, I don't want you to go. So I didn't go. And honestly, like I don't regret it. Like looking back at it, I'm pretty sure that birthday party maybe would have been fun, but it didn't really seem that interesting to me. I always was more of a person that wants to do fun things. Like most of my friends nowadays are just people that I actually enjoy spending time with. And back then, I was friends with a lot of people that just spend their time like doing drugs. Like I swear they did nothing apart from doing drugs. Like obviously, they would do like fun things that I like to do as well, but they'd have to like be on drugs first, which I never understood. Like they'd smoke and then play basketball. Like we were playing basketball one time, me and just like these people, you could say like friends, homies, ex-friends. Nothing against them. Like I just kind of cut them off. Like I'm just distancing myself. But we're playing basketball, and then they just decided to have a smoke break. They were smoking, and then they literally made this one guy that never smoked before, never did anything. They made him like take a few hits, and he got peer pressure into it. I told him you don't have to do it. You shouldn't do it. It's really up to you, man. But you shouldn't do it. But he still did it, and you know he was coughing like crazy. But they did that literally in a public park. Like there's no kids around, but like it was a public park. Don't get me wrong. And I thought it was crazy. I moved away and stuff because yo, if the police came, I'm not trying to be involved in this. But yeah, they just smoked for like 10 minutes and then we continued playing basketball. And like to them, that's something that they enjoy doing. I know a lot of people do that. I can understand some people are going through stuff, you know, depression or just, you know, life sucks. Don't get me wrong. I've been at that stage as well many times, but I just don't want to ever rely on drugs to help me with that. That's just me personally. I think I can always do things to improve my life. I've definitely been at stages where I'm just super lazy, but I've been able to recover from that. So I know that no matter what happens, I can get through it without having to rely on a substance. So for me, like just to conclude, because I've been talking for quite a long time, I think as a Christian, I think I shouldn't be doing these stuff. Obviously, I guess I could drink wine if I wanted to, and as long as I don't get drunk, it's fine. But for me, I just completely don't want to touch it all. And also, I just have viewed other people that do it in a negative way, I guess. I just, no offense, but like, if you're like a constant alcohol, like if not an alcoholic, but I guess another thing, I kind of mentioned this on, I kind of talked about this like previously on this video. I just view it kind of negatively. Like if you're my friend and you like drink on the side or you smoke, you're still my friend, but like I do kind of like, I won't judge you, but I don't respect that you do that. And I think that's fair to say. I have a few friends that drink once in a while. Sure, do as you please. I have had friends that drink a lot, smoke too. I was always treating them as every other friend, but I don't respect you smoking. I think it's disgusting. That's just how I view it. And we might have distanced ourselves, but I don't think I ever just cut someone off because they do drugs. Like I'm still friends with people that smoke, right? For me, it's just like most people that do this stuff, I feel like they just make it their whole personality. They just party and that's all they do. I'm not really that type of person, so that's why we really aren't friends, because we just don't have anything to do together. You know what I mean? Simple as that. Like if there was a friend that I always play basketball with, and he just told me that, yeah, I smoke a cigarette every day. Like I try to give him advice on how to stop, but he's still my homie. Like as long as he's not doing that stuff around me, I don't have an issue with him. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a bad friend in my opinion, but you guys can let me know. I'm just yapping, but I'll say I'm not gonna lie. This is also the last reason I don't do this stuff. And let me know what you guys think. This might sound weird or I don't know. Let me know. I feel like one reason I still haven't done it or won't do it is because I feel like at a certain my bad. I feel like at a certain point, you're like, yo, like I haven't tried this stuff 18 years of living. Why would I try it now? Like I can just continue living without it. You know what I mean? Like my life is good how it is. Like I don't have to do it now. Like isn't that impressive? I've lived 19 years without having to do it. Let me go another year without doing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how like if you're an alcoholic and you quit and then you have like you're on rehab for like a month and you're so proud of yourself, like oh my god, 1 month without smoking or 1 month without drinking at all, this is good, let's go for 2 months, let's go for a year. Like you shouldn't really keep track of it because that kind of like makes it harder for yourself, but you know what I mean. Like people are so proud when you say, oh, I've been sober for 2 years. Like congratulations, I've been sober my whole life and I'm not gonna stop now. So that's kind of how I view it, but maybe that's kind of like negative, I don't know, or like not negative but like egotistical maybe. But yeah, I think that's really it. I think my thoughts were all over the place, but I just wanted to make a video on this. I don't think anyone asked, but yeah, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't plan on doing it anytime soon, and this is really the reason why. I mean, I listed a few reasons, but yeah, this is the main reasons why I don't. And if you guys do it, I would advise probably to try to, at least reduce your intake over time, but it is your life. I can't control you. No one should be able to control you except yourself. So it's really up to you. Peace.